Hello YouTube land, it's Tycon here doing another figure review. I know it's been a while since I've done one, but I've been sick and under the weather, so I'm trying to kind of pick up the pace and review stuff that I've picked up and had in the background that I've been trying to review. Now this is for the Predator Golden Angel Ultimate Edition Elder Predator, which is based off the Dark Horse comic of I think it's Predator 1817, if I recall. Let me just bring around the back of the box. Predator 1718. So basically what it is, it's a background story in comic book form of the Elder Predator from Predator 2 that on how he claimed the flintlock pistol that he hands to Hartigan. Is it Hartigan? Danny Glover's character in Predator 2. So it's basically a prequel comic book, to say the least. And here he is in all his glory. Now he comes with a couple of accessories. So it comes in the window box, this window box packaging. There's a bit of comic book artwork on the side, comic book style layout for what you get with the figure. It's fairly standard Ultimate Edition box style with a beautiful, I don't think that's the cover of the comic. I think that's something Neca may have done for this figure. I'm not too sure. I don't remember seeing this image before from the comic, but I can't remember if I read the comic. I think I only read bits and pieces from the comic, but not the whole thing, but cover to cover, so I could be wrong. So here he is in all his golden glory. But before I get onto the figure, I'll get onto the accessories. So he comes with this two-piece blade, and I'll go into its storage later when I'm onto the figure, but it comes in two parts, as you can see. It has a smaller blade attachment. Now I think what it's supposed to do in the actual comic is the blade springs out from inside it, but because of the way Neca made it, they weren't able to do it, and I'd say it would just snap easier if it wasn't the way it was. It comes with an unmasked head, which is reminiscent of the Elder Predator. It is essentially just the unmasked jungle hunter. Has slightly different mandibles. He has a ring through one of the mandibles, which is how he looked in the movies. But you can see he's brighter, far brighter, yellowy, neon yellow with neon green colors and the dark spots. I think they put it down to that the way predators evolve over time and how they age, the skin hardens and becomes more leathery and basically darkens. So that's why he looks really bright compared to what he did in the film. And then you have this alternate mask, which is kind of looks like a slight variation on the Jungle Hunter. It has these indents that the Jungle Hunter doesn't. It kind of looks like a mishmash of Jungle Hunter and sort of like a concept version of what Jungle Hunter's mask might have been. So you get that one. The heads are swappable onto the peg system. I won't swap them out for this video review because it's a bit of a pain to do it on screen while I'm trying to hold the camera up. He comes with the aforementioned flintlock pistol, which I believe is the exact same mold of the same flintlock pistol that came with the Elder Predator from Predator 2. The only difference is on this figure, he doesn't have a storage spot for it. The previous one had like a little area on his belt that was cut out that you could slip the pistol through. Another thing he comes with, which is the first for Neca and the Predator line, is this. Now you may think this looks like the standard disc. This is the actual standard ones. These are the storage version of the disc. This is actually how it was intended to be in the movies and how it was intended to be thrown, that this would slide open slightly and then they would throw it and then it would do its fairly nasty slice and dice. You get two sets of hands. So you get this closed fist hand, which is one of the ones that are loose in the box. That's on the tray when you get it. His open palm one is the one that comes on the figure. Same with this one. I swapped out for the grip hand so he can grip his blade. He can also grip the pistol with this. So you can have him hold the pistol like that, as if he's handing it off to someone, or you can get him to kind of wedge it into his hand as if he's using it. I didn't try and wedge his pistol or the trigger finger through the trigger on this because there's a very small trigger and I don't want to snap it. But if you can probably do it if you force it or if you just maneuver it enough. He does hold the blade quite nicely, and as I said, it's a two-part blade, so you can put the blade in his hand and you go hold it quite nicely. The other thing this guy comes with is a holster for this blade, which is on his back. It's a unique sculpting piece to this figure. So he has two slots on the blade, or on the holster, one for the smaller blade, so I would recommend caution when putting it in, and do not put it the whole way down because you might not be able to get it back out again. And then the larger part of the blade just snaps into place. Now I'd say it was intended just for the bigger, the entire part of this one blade. It wasn't really meant for having this one, but it's a nice nod to have a storage for it. He does come with the plasma caster, which is a separate piece that is separate in the box, and it just plugs in like all the other ones. The only difference, he has a slightly unique version of it, and I'm not sure if it's going to be able to bring it up on camera because it doesn't like to zoom in on stuff up close. But it has the targeter is actually on the plasma caster as opposed to onto the side of the helmet that most predators tend to have. Articulation wise, he has ball jointed head. He has an upper ab crunch, which doesn't get much back and forth, it's more side to side. He has a waist swivel. He has jointed jointed shoulders, ball jointed shoulders. I can move out that way. Swivel at the bicep. Dual hinge elbow. A swivel on the wrist. A hinge at the wrist. Swivel at the gauntlet just as it meets the elbow, and a swivel on the wrist. The way the hands work is peg system, which is different to what they used to before. Before they used to have a peg system where the peg was built into the gauntlet side instead of being on the wrist, and I think this method is a lot better. He also has ball hinge thigh with a swivel, double jointed knees, and ball rocker ankles. So all in all, he's a really jointed figure. He's really cool, and I do recommend picking him up. He has the extending wrist blade as most predators that use this mold do, and he also has the opening computer as well. So I do recommend picking him up, but I do stress that if you do pick him up, do give him a either hot water bath. It's in pre-boil some water and put him into like some sort of tub or something that can house the whole figure, because the joints can be very tight, or you can heat them up with a hot air gun, or hair dryer, but I've never used that method, so I'm not sure if it's good. So there you go, guys, quick video review of the Predator Golden Angel. I hope you enjoyed this video review, and please feel free to like, comment and subscribe to my channel. Cheers.